Okay. Okay. Happy full moon in Aquarius. Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Dove Diaz. As you can tell, I'm starting to get nervous, so I really want to get my shade so bad, but I just feel like I want to be more face to face with you, especially with this full moon tonight. Um, I think I'll just leave it there, because like it's a time to kind of just open up a little, even if it's a little uncomfortable, like, you know, if you feel like it's gonna work regardless and you go with the flow with it, then go with the flow. Like for me, I had like a different top on, and long story short, and it has to be red again, right? But long story short, it was supposed to be like a white, like sweater, kind of like that goes around like the neck like this, but it's like a really nice white, and it looks so nice. But then, oh, I literally, that brush I was using for like the edges, it literally, like, out of all the places too, it had to be right on the I probably have to blur it out, but if you want to get an idea of what I'm saying, I'll just put the emojis up. Maybe that will be helpful that way. Yeah, because gotta stay on the side of YouTube. So, all right. Now that we're all here, and now that I'm here, because I'm not gonna lie, like, times like, the whole like persistence energy has already been a practice in my life, and in whatever way, ever since especially like the beginning of 2024. But the continuation of that, especially in certain challenges that don't have to be bad at all, but they challenge you internally, which affects the external, especially depending on how you deal with it energetically. And so, let me just wear these glasses because I just feel like it just fits the energy more. Because there's a lot we gotta observe in this full moon in Aquarius. So, I think we should begin. All right. Whew, girl, look at this. Like, oh, the hands, the red, you know, this is a time to really, like, just like, how do I say this? Like, keep to pick up with the things you really, really, really like and desire in your life. But, oh, you know what? Before I do that, before I get into the reading, I really feel like I should share my notes that I have gathered for the full moon and leading up to that. And so I'm just going to pull it up here, and I'm going to see if I can find it anywhere. Let me just go over to this folder. No. Okay. Let's go down here. Okay. Close. Okay, here we go. So here are a couple of downloads I've been having lately. I'm just gonna get the practical ones out of the way first. I don't know about you or anyone. I don't know about these energies, but there's something about shifts that are taking place on a sensory level. I think, in my opinion, they're, for example, like, there's this like place that I used to eat, that I was just so used to eating and loving to eat and all that. And then afterwards, you know, I've been cooking food for myself at home lately. And, you know, I mean, of course, like, it has been a consistent thing because, you know, of course, my partner, she's working full time. Not going to get into what she does, but I will say, though, that she, you know, especially in our partnership, we, you know, contribute here, there, bringing it a balance. And one of those things for me to balance that out for her is making her food. And so, long story short, I ate that food again, and I'm like, that I ordered, that I was loving so much before. Now the relationship with it is so, like, different. Sorry, I just noticed an ant, and I'm bringing that ant out of that table. I just love how I'm, like, talking about this and I'm distracted. Like, this is some Mercury retrograde shit again just happening, right? So that, you know, it's interesting. Like, I couldn't even get through the drinks. I couldn't get through the sandwiches. Like, I just could not. And I have to, like, just remove all of that. And then there is this really significant download that I had when it comes to the connection between air signs and fire signs. And I feel like since we are in the middle of a elemental season, sun sign wise, in terms of the fire sign, and since we are in the middle of a very intricate lunar point, like we're getting to the point on a lunar level as well where it's in Aquarius, while especially Pluto's in Aquarius. And I have written down something that I felt like just was even mind-blowing to me, because I didn't even think of it like that. You know, there's some thoughts that I would never think of something like this, but there's some things that I have to accept, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to read it. Awareness must be involved with love. And awareness must be involved in love. Very Leo and Aquarius energy coded. Not that Leos are never aware, or not that, you know, Aquariuses are never loving. They both teach us, regardless, that awareness can never be truly heightened and full without love. And love can never be at its fullest capacity without awareness. Just like how communication, Gemini, can never be fully present without the wisdom through Sagittarius, and that wisdom through Sagittarius can never be fully utilized to its potential if you choose to never communicate about it, or to never get in touch with all things besides some things. And like how partnerships and working with others, Libra, can never fully develop if you choose to never develop yourself, Aries. And that yourself can never be fully transformed if you choose to never work with others or with your own partner. This was a download that I immediately got, like a couple of days ago, when I first asked the Absolute, like, you know, if there's anything you want to bring download wise into my mind, and, you know, before this video begins, then feel free to do so. And turns out that this is the thing they want me to know, and that's the thing they want me to share as well. And this is also very important as well that I will be bringing up here. So I made this note as well that talked about this cycle of like like there is this pattern that's like coming up for like the past couple of days of like there's something that you're transmuting through, but then something comes up, and that's the challenge through the transmutation, even though the transmutation is a good transmutation, especially when, you know, for the past year and a half you have been moving with considerate intention. And so it makes me think to myself that, you know, if I should read this or not, because you know what the let's read it anyways. So it says here, very important, this is a very particular cycle that keeps coming up, especially recently. It's this cycle that shows up when you are flowing through the energy, especially with your consciousness / awareness. When something comes up, what blocks the flow because of, for example, you know, something doesn't work, or this thing has expanded to a limited capacity, or that it hasn't, like, you know, reached a goal that you set, or that you lost something or whatsoever. The question, you know, there are these circumstances through following the path of what you love to do, or following the, you know, your everyday life as the person that you are, as the person you choose to be. Sorry, I stem, you know, this is literally my thing. Like, I just do that because I just, that's just what I do. Yeah, I didn't even mean to go off a tangent like that. But you know what? I think from here, that is all I will share at this point, from the downloads, because I think that what is leading up to, not just now, but what's going to lead up to the next new moon is going to be very interesting, because the sun and the moon, especially the sun being in Virgo, even though the south node is in Virgo and the north node is in Pisces, and yet the full moon is taking place as well as the new moon. But there's something about this new moon that is very special. It's very different than it used to be. Like, this upcoming, you know, September is a lot more different than you have always experienced seasonally on that level to be. So let's get the cards out. Let's have awareness express and share while I do my best to read. Let's see what will be taking place in this Aquarius full moon. All right, let's go. Now. Okay, now we're on to the decks. I think I want to do something a little bit different. You know what? Why not? Since this is Aquarius full moon, we shall use this deck called the Tree of Life Oracle. created by David Wells, and the artwork is by Roberta Orpwood. So, I love this deck because this is not just a major arcana deck. This is not just a deck that goes into the elements or like the zodiac signs. It also gets to the tree of life as well. I think it's a little bit too bright. Okay, see? Without like the intense brightness, you get to see like how it looks. It's so gorgeous, stunning. So, let's open it up. And like I said before, usually like the cards at the bottom of the deck that I left last foretells this reading. So let's get to it. Alright. Oh. Let's see here. Look at that. Let me see if I could come close. Yes. The middle pillar, backbone, balance, the middle way. Well, that's very fun. That's very good to know. I caught myself before I like had to use the chime again. Woo. Now, let's get started with shuffling, but if you want to have a general idea what this reading will foretell, has a lot to do with balance, has a lot to do with the path, especially those who are not just initiated, who has increased self-awareness. This is for all of us, all of them as well. I would say myself included, genuinely. So, let's get this shuffled. Absolute. Let's do, let's affirm first, and afterwards we'll move forward with the reading. So, thank you, Absolute, for gathering us all here today. May whatever you are called to the most to share with us, may that be as clear and direct as possible. May I interpret and take in as much detail as possible from you. But of course, feel free to make it known simply as well. Thank you, Absolute. Thank you, Awareness. And now we shall begin. So it is. And may everybody who takes in this reading and is watching this video, may something in this reading answer a very important question in their lives. And may that answer only bring great impact to the point where the application of that answer only brings the dimension that you desire to be in. And so it is. Look at that. Victory, hope, love, and art. Wow. Then we just talk about this. Okay. So let's begin. Ooh. Okay. Sorry, I have to like settle. Like if you could see what's going on right now. I'm trying to like position myself, but like I'm kind of going to the side. So stop. Okay, I gotta have to like solve this problem, but let's get this started though, because let's not get distracted, okay? I'm trying not to get distracted. Let's separate this. Oh my gosh, and speaking of which, I split the deck in half and literally art temperance came out. My goodness. Alright, Absolute. What would you like us to be aware of for this full moon in Aquarius? in Leo season. What would you like us all to be aware of? What would you like us all to be aware of? According to this energy under the full moon. Ooh, in Aquarius. Okay, you know what? I'll take this. Ha. Well, I mean, it is kind of like the absolute making it known that they will make this message known. Maybe if somebody needed clarity or confirmation, an extra confirmation, honestly, that this is the absolute reaching out and giving you that guidance, especially when you're called to it, this is your card. And also the Hermit is like a Virgo card. So you could have like very significant Virgo placements. You may be a Virgo. So let's go over here and just... Alright. Okay, now I can actually... Now I feel a lot better. Now I can start shuffling. So absolutely, what would you like us to know? According to this Aquarius full moon energy. Ooh, girl. Oh, shoot. All right. Oh, okay. So we have the Hanged Man. And that's the 23rd path. So it's the Hangman. Let me just go a little closer so you can see even better. And let's move that here. And then we have the Pillar of Severity. Severity, courage, and form. Saturn, Mars, and Mercury. And speaking of Mercury, we have the Lovers. We have Neptune energy that is kind of shown at the crown of like the person that's literally in like the middle pillar card. Where you saw the crown, it had like the Neptune card. It's given that similar energy here. But I love how the presence of like Pisces and Neptune, like an outer planet, but also very significant inner planets like Saturn, Mars, and Mercury, with the significance of Mercury being there, and the same sword that is, you know, is between them, but it doesn't divide them. And this person yields their sword right. And you know what I noticed? There's like whales on there too. Like there may be some significance with whales, with birds, honestly. Or you could be at this energy where you may metaphorically, in whatever way, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're in a relationship with yourself, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. It seems to me that like some of you are or have just experienced like not being in the belly of a whale anymore, in whatever way that applies to you. But instead, you faced courage. You embody courage. Regardless of how severe the moment was, in whatever way that you metaphorically... Maybe that's why the Hermit card came out, is because it somewhat reflects this level of this journey with you. Connecting with yourself on a level where you're not only setting up boundaries, you're not only, you know, being wise with your energy and how you use your energy, you also do at least your best to communicate about it. You do your best to take care of that area of your life. It's actually pretty interesting how this aura that's similar to like the middle pillar, and this is giving that same energy. I feel like there are a lot of illusions breaking through that may have actually, like, the breaking out of it honestly may have served you even more than you thought. And now let's take a look at, you know, these terms too: humor, choices, intelligence. This full moon asks us to review, especially since this is Mercury retrograde, the balance between your own, you know, connecting with yourself and having boundaries and putting yourself first, but also balancing that with connecting with others as well. There seems to be a harmonization now, a lightness now in every choice you make, and every part of your intelligence that has expanded, especially since Uranus went into Gemini, and especially since Neptune went into Aries. Let's see the bottom of the deck. This is a Hierophant. Wow. Loyalty, kindness, and guidance. But on the top here, the Hangman is tolerance, new perspective, life purpose. New perspective. Whether it be newer perspectives you have of people, whether it be newer perspectives of life in whatever way, you are navigating it all with your own truth. Whatever it is that stabilizes the pillar of severity, rather than having it go out of whack. Even if it starts simply with just you and how you react. So, now, I don't know if I should, maybe, you know what? Yeah, let's get the book. Maybe. I don't know. Because it could be a little bit lengthy, though. But we did this for 28 minutes. But... okay, let's not overthink this. This is the Aquarius full moon, for crying out loud. Let's not overthink this. Let's do this. So, let's read Pillar of Severity first. So, if you want to take a screen cap, go right ahead. Let me just, there you go. Go right ahead. And there you go. So this card, the Pillar of Severity, helps remove what no longer works for you. Your sword arm, aka your truth, is ready to cut ties to limiting energy. And let's continue with guidance. Because if we're, asking this type of particular question, then we might as well take advantage of that section in the book that covers guidance on these specific cards here. So let's go. So when this card appears, it may be time to cut ties with a situation that no longer serves you. While this may not be easy, you'll likely recognize the necessity of it. While this may not be easy, you'll likely recognize the necessity of it. A hullabaloo is not required. If anybody knows what a hullabaloo is, then go right for it. It's not required though, whatever that is. Make your changes without feeling as if you must engage in endless conversations that will go over ground you've no doubt already covered 100 times or more. Let's read this again. Make your changes without what? Without feeling as if you must engage in endless conversations. Don't give in to people, especially people, maybe it's a different story with circumstances, but don't let other people excessively, without your consent, drain your energy without even thinking and considering, like, how is this person's day gonna be like, right? I'm just gonna, like, that level of boundaries, right? So let's keep going. That you've no doubt, that you must engage in endless conversations that will go over ground you've no doubt already covered 100 times or more. There might still be such conversations around you, and the time for silence is a little further along the track. But severity, oh my god, yes, back to severity, because this is a card for the pillar severity. Let's remember that. And the time for silence is a little further along the track, but severity can be put to constructive use by cutting away negative traits, which I just talked about for this week's weekly reading, which if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend that you watch that. So then you can watch this, watch that video, connect the dots in whatever way, and yeah, use that to your advantage. So yeah, but severity can be put to constructive use by cutting away negative traits, clearing your mind of negativity, and empowering yourself with the positive. Activate the way to create change that isn't comfortable to begin. It seems blatantly obvious, but have courage and take that first step away from whatever it is you want to move away from. Take up a pen mightier than the sword and start writing out your first non-negotiable small step, then take it. Now we're going to read the Lovers. So before I read that, I do want to get back to the Pillar of Severity, because I really feel like actually no, because I feel like I was not going to read this part, but I realized there's a sentence in there I feel like that's resonant of this, so I had to look back, because I was thinking to myself, maybe there is a message like that too, but there really wasn't any connection to it. So I'm going forward with the Lovers now. So this path runs between, Tiferet and Binah, and the astrological sign is Gemini. Here you're asked to walk with your soul and spirit in perfect union. Loving yourself and understanding this is a place of power. Lovers are the one who are one are the one. Lovers are the one. What? Okay, anyways. Lovers who are one and the same, there you go, and yet maintain their individuality. These beings are heart-linked, but understand that what one lacks, the other provides in perfect symmetry. What does the symmetry of love mean to you? You may be looking for love, but do you know what you're looking for? Do you want someone who compliments you in every way, or compliments you on your new haircut and leaves it at that? Do you want a relationship at all? Are you happier being on your own other half? Or being your own other half? But here's the line here. Here's the line. All things are possible. And this is why there's something about this full moon and the theme of love and awareness that's very important to talk about, because I mean, I'm going to assume the best here, but choosing awareness while navigating through love will guarantee you leading yourself to the best circumstances. And so let's keep going here. Let me just actually get my chalice first, because you know what? Sometimes the energies, like, the messages come through, but they pause because you gotta take a sip or something, so. Whew, that is so much better. You know what? Maybe that's why this cup caught my attention initially. Gotta reignite yourself. Gotta make sure that you are in the mental space to be at. Because your assumptions could either work for you or against you. And you have to keep in consistent remembrance of how important it is to connect with your self-awareness. Now, choices need to be made when this card moves through your energy. And not always romantic ones. Can you see both sides of a decision you must make? Just as a whale lives in two worlds. As a mammal that is seaborn, you're being asked to move with grace through a world that may not always feel like your natural home. Are you considering a question that's brought so much debate, you're no longer sure where you stand? The sword of fate could fall. A choice could be made for you rather than by you. Use the communication in this card alongside the clear, heartfelt vibration it carries. And if you want to get the activate part for this card, then go right ahead. All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, I want to actually continue with the next spread. Ooh, my bad. See, there's a little preview. Happy Mercury retrograde. There's a little preview now. For those who are a little, you know, nosy and they kind of want to like get a little peek of like how the design will look and everything once that's upgraded, like, yeah. So, now that I have started this reading and it has turned out to be this way, I'm considering getting the tarot involved, especially since the Hangman and the Lovers came out. Let's get to that. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Yeah, this works better here. And this works here. And this works here. Okay. Now, let's get to this part. So, I'm just gonna pull out what I feel called to pull out. I don't know what it is though. So, you know what? What I'm gonna do is that I'm going to just close my eyes and just, definitely very appropriate for this Leo season, pull it out from this bag of like these cats, okay? And then I'm just gonna decide from here. I know, it's like I probably have like seen and felt these decks before, but okay, this one feels right. Okay, this is, okay. That's interesting, because I was just thinking about that deck. And the Panorama version of this deck. Okay, let's go. Now, okay, so let's get to the second part of the reading, which I will read from Astro Codes again. Star Codes, sorry, I was saying Astro Codes. Maybe there's some astrological code like downloads, like there's gonna be some downloads that you're gonna get, whether it be from your dreams or whether it be from your thought process. There's some significant download that you will feel it to record it down in whatever way. Okay, so absolute, what would you like us to know according to the energy of this full moon? What would you like us to be made aware of this energy of this full moon? Oh my gosh. I don't know why the song is playing in my head. Oh god, is it gonna be one of those moments in the reading where I like sing in the middle of the fucking... Like, is it really one of those readings now? Oh my gosh. You can buy me diamonds, you can buy me pearls, take me on a cruise around the world, baby, you know I'm worth it. Dinner lit by candles, run my bubble bed. Oh my gosh, does anybody know that song by Alicia Keys? Like that song slapped. That song is like, ooh, girl, like that I just love that. Like that first album that she made was just solid. It's just so freaking good. Now, let's, okay, I think we're good here. It's interesting because I remember before I continued shuffling, the moon was underneath. And now that I shuffled again and I finished, I was going to start the reading, it's in Pisces, sensitize. I think there's something about this Pisces card here, like this Hangman card here, like the very, 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 like, well, not the very first card, but it was the love card, it was, which card was it? It's like green and everything, and just like this one, actually. It's very stunning, but you know, it represented hope, love, and art. So it's just very interesting how that's underneath. Maybe take the opportunity to, maybe whatever these downloads I mentioned are gonna be, they could be ideas for what you feel called, or what you will feel called to create. Okay, so let's get started. Absolutely, what would you like us to know according to the energies of this full moon in Aquarius? What would you like the collective to know? And feel free to answer however you like with this deck this time. If you want to keep the answer consistent and the same theme, go right ahead. And however, if you feel like there's something very important to add on to that, to the point where it perfectly, this deck especially perfectly encapsulates, entirely captures the entire picture, I guess, of your message, then go right for it too. Ooh, that almost came out. Oh, girl. I'm already going through like a situation lately, and it's good though. It's good, but I'm just like, you know, like the previous reading, like, get it together, like that. Oh, speaking of which, this is the bottom card of the deck, which is investigate again. Like, well, not again, but this card was in the bottom of the previous reading, but the card on top of that reading, I believe, is the 9th house. Now, there's something about the 8th house energy, which you can see it is the number 8. So let's go down here. It is the number 8, all right? And it says investigate. So that is interesting. It's kind of like giving like the same energy as like the Hanged Man, where, you know, you're surrendering into the depths of what this full moon could bring. Well, you know, you are doing your very best to surrender to that, and I applaud you for it, because it's not easy, especially in these times. Like, there's a lot of great things that are happening right now, but there's also a lot of like things that really, really suck. And let's go for it, hey? So, oh my goodness, look at that. Sagittarius and the 4th house. Home, expand. And investigate, but home and expand. There's something you want to expand in the home. There's something you want to expand. When it comes to the home in your heart, maybe there's something you want to expand. When it comes to the home, like where you live in country-wise, you want to expand in terms of the home you live in, maybe in terms of making it over. You want to expand your home into a space where you're not just connecting practically, or having casual conversations or whatsoever. It influences you to learn. The energies in the home influences you to take in deep wisdom and set that energy up for it. Like, I think this is the perfect opportunity to discover in what way you can have, you know, even in your own heart, because remember, like, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Your home is in the heart. Home is in the heart. And that home, it's like whatever brings you back to the desire to take in information, but in an environment that sets you up for it with conscious intentions and awareness that inspires you, that makes it's like borderline, like it feels like a movie in some way, the way you set the space up whenever you're learning something, or when you set the space up when it comes to what you're doing at home, or whether it be work, or whether it be like, your regular everyday life. Like, and it's interesting as well because that's what will lead, that's the energy that we are all being led to nearby the new moon in Virgo. So this is going to be a very interesting experience. Maybe it's going to get to a point where, like, whatever is going to happen in Virgo season, but at the end of Leo season, and even during Leo season, like, there is even luck with the expansion of the home. Like, there could be something that, like, literally happens out of nowhere, just like because since there's the number 8 here, and I'm thinking of, like, the 8 of Wands with this card, and number 9 is there, and this is the similar card as the 9th house, but this is the 9th sign, and this is number 42, but this is the 4th house. Again, it goes back to a specific change within yourself, the home that is not just from your mind, from your body, but everywhere and everyone around you. Like, take this opportunity to give in to the optimism and not give the optimism a chance. You have many options. You have many arrows. And you run fast enough to get them all back anyways. You always find a way. This is like a window and preview of whatever is going to be taking place. It's very interesting because it reflects these energies a lot. Okay? And this energy reflects on this energy because of the fact that this and Gemini connect and are also opposing signs. I also talked about this with Gemini and Sagittarius. Sagittarius being that energy of higher knowledge and wisdom, and Gemini being that, like, that communication, that direct, like, the air that we breathe, And so, and because this is the number 42, whether it be within ourselves or with other people, there are changes that are taking place. And so, let's get to the last spread. Oh my gosh! We're getting to the last spread. Oh my goodness. I hope I'm doing a good job so far. But what the am I talking about? I am doing a good job. I am doing a good job with this. I'm doing my best, really. As you can tell, I'm a little shy. I don't usually, again, like, go out looking like this. But you know what? Like, what the hell? It's Leo season, and plus it is the full moon in Aquarius, for crying out loud. And so that's just it, really. So of course this has to show up. But this is giving that interesting connection to Scorpio, where it's like, investigate with like the state you are around. And since this is like that Capricornian energy, like, and since this is 10th house energy as well, because we got to think of it, this is 9th house energy, but this is 10th house energy. It's interesting because it actually kind of reflects the Hanged Man. But this is a Hanged Man at a different state, where Hanged Man was not self-aware. The Hanged Man was just living according to the paradigm that they were born into, and that have really particular beliefs that led them to live a life that sets themselves up in a way that is exactly the way that they grew up to learn, rather than them growing up experiencing the full embodiment of themselves. But this is post that. This is embodying that, cutting the old paradigm that you thought makes you you, but it's not. And changing the energy, changing the space, changing the light, changing the lighting. Maybe some of you need to change your lighting. I don't know why I'm getting that download, but okay. Let's start with reading from this Panorama Rider-Waite Tarot. And oops. Okay. Now let me just turn this around here. I'm trying to make sure I don't like mix it up too much, because that's when the reading will get too complex for me. Absolute, what would you like us to know through this deck according to the energies of this full moon in Aquarius? What would you like us to know? What would you like to add in or re-emphasize? What would you like to add in for us to be aware of and re-emphasize or re-emphasize? Oh, did I turn off? Okay, no, I did. What would you like us to know according to the energies of this Aquarius full moon? Ooh. Ooh, girl. Okay. This is interesting. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I talked about the Eight of Wands. What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then look what the hell came out. Oh my. Okay, let's lay this out, shall we? So, what came... Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so, because this is laid like this, right? Like, I figured it's not fully upright or reversed, but however... It's interesting because this, and this came out. So this is the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Fool. Let me just organize this too. Okay. And maybe, like, correct this camera. But yeah, that's the Fool. That's Uranus. This is the Earth sign Ace card representing all the Earth signs to the Ten of Cups right here. There's the Eight of Wands. And then the next set of cards that came out, Six of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Pentacles reversed. But I will take it as upright as well. Let me just go over here. Okay. Maybe I'll... Yeah. You know what? Yeah, actually. I think this will be read even more better this way. So here we have these cards that came out. Now, it's interesting how this is the number 8 when this is the number 8. Investigate, but yet I mentioned the Eight of Wands, that energy of that at some point for this card, which reflected from the energy of the last reading. And this is the Jupiter Sagittarius card again. Also the Piscean card. Also has Scorpio, one of the fixed signs. There is something that will build from this full moon right now. And it has a lot to do with the choices you've made, the courage you decided to embody and bring into form in your life through your boundaries, through your energy, through what you talk about, what you express. Dismantling illusions. Living it up, because humor is there. And, and there's the Fool. And not taking this journey too seriously. Like, don't worry. Drop your worries. The sun is literally there too. You're going through a portal that will lead up to this energy of the Virgo New Moon. In a sign of Virgo season. Now, if anything, this is very celebratory, what's being left up to from now to the new moon. Like, there are things that you invested in that you're not holding back from investing in anymore, that is activating this particular energy that will only spin to your favor, because I see the Six of Wands come out with the Fool, with the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. That says a lot. And when you choose to not hold back from your investments, even if it's energetic, it doesn't have to be literal money, but on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, on a taking in information, learning, going to school kind of level. Once you transmute that and invest in what you know that you have to surrender, into participating and start taking action in, you're only being led to a conclusion that will take you by surprise. Like, it will take you by surprise, not just due to the fact that whatever this energy is that's coming forward, that's changing and that's really activating your paradigm to the point where it's now affecting your actual home, your space. All this energy, all these people, this abundant source, this big, huge wave of energy, this portal that we're going through. Well, I mean, now that I think of it, isn't today like the 8/8 port? Oh wait, no, that was yesterday, because now it is August 9th and it's 9:52 p.m. Oh, sorry, a.m. I said p.m. There's something about interesting because this is all showcasing the daytime. So, especially in your personal life, there's something really expansive that will feel like God's I could honest to God be like really like exaggerating out of my about this, but it could be God delivering the greatest graces to you, is what I'm hearing. They're bringing in things that will shift things so quick. And it's not, and if you already know what it is, even if you already know what it is, you do not fully know what it is. And even if you think that you don't fully know what it is because you think, you know, that because you assume generally that it's about this one thing anyways, no, it's not just about this one thing that you already know, especially those who already know what's gonna come up with this energy. I'm here to tell you, this is not the only thing. What you're thinking of is not the only thing that's going to come through and expand. Like, there's so many things in your personal life, in your family life, your personal life, your work life, your community. All of this is going to your favor, whatever it is. Maybe what's going to your favor is the way your connections in your life is moving forward, the way the state of your home is moving forward. But of course, you must be in the state that you desire to be at, and peace must be there, awareness must be there within you. But it's so good that it makes it so easy to submit to that, even though, especially for some of you, may have had a very hard time as of recently to give it to that energy. It would be so good, whether you know it already or not. But if you don't know it, there will be multiple things. If you already know what the hell is going to come up, it's going to be literally more than just what you already know right now. This is big. This is a shift in your family life. This is a shift in your financial life. This is a shift in your personal life, in your spiritual journey. And this is a shift in the life that people want to start sharing with you out of nowhere, maybe. Or that people, or that you, you know, a life that involves other people in the same village as you, in the same community as you. It does not matter. Now, I want to maybe draw one more deck, because it doesn't feel right to me to end this reading like this, because I feel like there is a conclusive message to this that I will, and you know what, let me just see what's underneath this. The Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. This is how far you've come from the nostalgia to where you were to where you're at now. You think this is how far you've come? You think this is how far you've come? I don't think so. Okay? I don't think so. Oh, and the timer. The time is 1:11 right now on the video timer right now. It is 1:11, girl. Like, the coincidences, this is just beyond that, isn't it? Now, I'm going to be thinking about what deck to choose to finish this off. But evidently, the message is to chill, let things flow, expand. If some things, unfortunately, are going to get cut off because, you know, you really have no choice, simply because, like, it's the right integral thing to do, then it's the right integral thing to do. Whether it hurts your feelings or not, whether it hurts their feelings or not, does not matter. Okay? So, let's gather these cards and put them back. Alright. I hope this is some pleasant ASMR experience for you. My goodness. Now, I will choose one more deck. Or maybe two more. I don't know, girl. Like, I'm excited. I could read all the decks right now if I want to. You know what? I will take two more. Angel Numbers and Prism. I feel like I can't help but, like, really think that those two will solidify the entire reading overall. So, absolutely. What would you like to close with us when it comes to the energies? What would you like us to know with this deck first, especially? What would you like us to know according to the energies of this, of this full moon in Aquarius? What would you like us to know? Ooh, okay. Let's get started. Ooh, it didn't come out, but alignment flipped over. There's something that we are gradually, I mean, we are already in alignment to it. It's like you're gradually going to see it more in the 3D. Of course, awareness came out. Oh, and of course, confidence came out. Revisit. Oh, revisit bonds and confidence. Revisit awareness, bonds. You know what's so freaking hilarious? I didn't even mean to make this a thing right now. I'm just looking at these cards. I'm like, A, B, C. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. maybe that means something. I don't know. Okay, like, but there's something you have to revisit. Kind of like in the energy, like you're revisiting the alphabet, but you're revisiting something deeper than, you know, letters. You are revisiting the bonds in your life, because it goes back to that Gemini and the Lovers card. There is a reassessment that, you know, or, you know, but it has to be, but there's a revisit card though. Maybe it's different if there is not a revisit card, but this is like a different one, that, because this message could be different, honestly, but because revisit is there, there's something about revisiting, maybe whether it be your self-awareness, whether it be revisiting people in your life who want to take part of your life, or that you haven't really yet invited in. It could, you know, there's like confidence that needs to be, maybe that's why I'm wearing this red, like maybe that's why I'm wearing this freaking outfit, my hair looking like this and everything, because honestly, like, you know, why not? You know, when is it ever gonna be? And that's literally what I'm getting. It's the why not energy, because when is it ever gonna be? Especially if it benefits you. Why not? Oh, well, you know, I'm scared of like what this person thinks, that person thinks, that person thinks, that person thinks. Now, this is when your situation with your relationship with others comes to a halt. Because if you are already that concerned and are having your confidence wavered because of what you think that other people think about you, it could be as far as that, or it could be really the real reality that people are judging you by, like, you know, they could be very judgmental. And when you take a certain decision, the judgment will just come up again, and or it could come up like, you know, like never experienced before, like kind of thing. And, you know, it's something that you need to revisit about, because there's something about that's not, you know, it's not just not doing right by them because it's not, it doesn't feel like it, because it's not an aligned relationship for them. But this is, you know, that's something you shouldn't put yourself through as well. You shouldn't put yourself through having your confidence wavered just because of the bonds that you have in your life that, you know, you thought was fine, especially since before 2020, but ever since after 2020, it just has built and built and built to a certain degree from time to time where, you know, it's different if, you know, you, like, how do I say this? Like, revisit these relationships that you have with other people before you move forward with your life, because you already have the awareness you have, you already have the confidence you have. It's just if these bonds that you're connected to keep you in the best dimension of all dimensions that you want to be in, or it just literally takes you out of that narrative and puts you in the same cycle over and over again. So let's get to the last card now, but before this, reshape, because there's something that needs to be reshaped when it comes to this perspective, this topic. And you know, it could end up being that you don't have to end up removing any bonds in your life, because you trust yourself so much and are so aware of yourself, and you trust yourself so much that it is the energy that it's what makes you confident as well. You know, you trust yourself so much that you already know that the people you're surrounded by are so good for you, and they will never be in the way of your journey. But but it's, of course, it's just as healthy that you are never in the way of theirs either. They can make their own choices too. But it is so powerful, especially if you already have really good bonds. Sorry, I didn't even mean to flick the card like that, but especially if you have really good bonds that has developed since the past like 2 to 4 years. It may seem, this whole entire energy in the air may seem random, especially since the full moon is in Aquarius, but it's not. It's beyond coincidental. Hold on. Before I continue, I'm just gonna get the battery rolling. Hold on. I'm back. Hey. So, sorry, I had to get my laptop charged because it was running low on battery. I'm like, oh no. So I had to take care of that right away. So let's get to the Prism Oracle and the last Oracle. And then we are going to go over the terms with this book and this book included. So, of course, what's underneath is creativity. This is also an exciting time as well, because the sun energy is embodying the 5th house, and the moon energy is embodying the 11th house. So, especially for my creatives, my artists, this is such a very fun and powerful time for you to let these downloads come through again in your conscious awareness when it comes through, like ideas, even if it's ideas that don't seem to be creative related, but it can be, like when it comes to food, like maybe you found a creative solution, you'll get a creative download for a creative solution, to have an easier time to make food, or to have an easier experience or better experience with food. I don't know, like this, that's just one example, right? So, but I mean, on a non-creative level, but on a creative level, there are all other examples as well that's pretty clear that they relate to this card. So a light bulb moment is going to happen for sure from the days following up from this full moon right now, especially on the full moon today, which I think is happening right now. I have to check and see, because it's almost 1:11 actually. Wow, the timing of it all. And just as I stopped, growth came out. It's very fitting. Something that you've planted and that you're planting now in this full moon, or that you've planted, but that it's finally rising from the full moon. There you go. You planted a seed in the full moon in Leo, but the plant itself is finally rising. And look, the absolute's telling me to stop, but actually, no. I mean, it could be the energy of like stop being in the way of your own growth. Stop being in the way of, stop being in a way of what you can easily assume is not working, but it's working. And now you can see it. There you go. So this came out, and confidence came out. Wow. So simple, isn't it? Whether it be reminding yourself, you know, the best of the best thoughts that you want to affirm to yourself, keep going at it, because it's helping you, it's working. And in fact, it's interesting how confidence came out twice, but this is a period where, yeah, you're going to revisit this energy, but, you know, stay confident that these energies are here to serve you and not go, ooh. Yeah, they're here to serve you, not go against you. They're here to serve you. And it just depends on, you know, how you choose to respond to it. Whether it be in terms of how you choose to respond to yourself, how you choose to respond to other people, so on and so forth. So, you know what? Let's get to reading the terms before we close this reading. So let's start with the angel numbers, because I owe it to you all. Because I actually forgot to say the terms. But see, it goes back to my point again about, you know, how divination can be so unique, right? Like, divination can be so unique on a level where you could even say that you're gonna grab something, but then you flow into a different, like, you continue to flow, but you're at a different point than where you were at, because maybe that message was not meant to be, like, expressed regardless, or like it's still meant to be, but for some decks and not all decks. I just think divination is very unique on that level, and I did owe it to some of you to be reading off of this book. But then again, it absolutely resonates enough that we might as well go through these terms. So, now, let's start with awareness. One, 3, 2, 1. And it's so interesting because this was the card for potential, but the bottom of the deck. Now we're going back to this whole faith and activation potential energy, where has a lot to do with the spread. Take a deep breath and reassess. Let's get closer, shall we? There is no need to rush right now. Only a need to turn inward and reflect. Revisit. Are there things you should change to better align with your goals? Are you doing things that actually allow you to utilize your abilities? Try to find focus and ignore distractions. Stick to your goals. Find creative solutions to reach them. Maybe the creativity card reflects this as well. Upright, reflection, and reevaluation. Very Mercury retrograde coded, so is this. Finding and maintaining focus. Goal-oriented. Personal and skill development for awareness. And it's so interesting how I just talked about what I talked about. And, you know, and this affirmation here says it's okay to pause and reflect. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Because maybe somebody needs to hear this. But do consider your bonds when it gets to the point where whenever you tell them about your progress, whenever you express to them what you believe, whenever you share something that's important to you, and they don't come through to be as like a supportive energy in the way you have come through for them, on a level especially where they could even be like the most amazing person in your life. They could be, you know, somebody that you look up to or you admire, you absolutely love to work on to keeping in your life or to having in your life. But when it comes to the point where what you want to do with your life, how you want to express yourself, how you want to come through energetically after all those 20 years of Pluto and Capricorn, be aware of the bonds that suddenly has a problem about how you choose to exude your energy, to the degree where they make it so much of a problem that it'd be more reasonable for them to be this level of being somebody that either vocally or not has a problem with it. Like they could have put that to horrible people in the world, like, you know, rapists or the PDF files, right? Like, let's get really, 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 really real here. And on a Aquarian perspective as well. Would you really take that person's perspective of you if they can't even reach a full perspective of themselves to the point where they can't be fully present with you in this bond that you currently unfortunately assume that you have, but it's not it? Even if it's bonds with like the things that, you know, the things that you're into, the things you were interested in, things you were bonded to as well. The more your confidence increases, so is your awareness. And when your awareness increases through the love of yourself, by reaffirming the things in your mind, the script that enhances your confidence, because that targets that as well, your bonds will be seen more clearly. You know, awareness, the symbol of awareness usually comes through as an eye. And there's a reason for that. And so you can be confident about where you're at in your life, but make sure you take off those sunglasses. Like, I chose to not wear mine. And maybe that's why I didn't feel called to wear it either way. Because it's like you're kind of like purposely lying to yourself if you choose to think that it's all fine when it's not. And that's okay if it's not fine. It's okay if what you thought was a solid connection or a solid bond with something or someone, it's okay to be wrong about that. And I'm not saying it's happening for everyone, but you have to revisit that area of whatever bond you have with people or things in your life to make sure that your full awareness and confidence is there, because you can love that thing and you can love that person. But if awareness is fully not present, again, then love is not present in it truly. So maybe that's why it started with the whole like ABC, it's easy as 1, 2, 3 energy. Because it should be very easily known whether what you are revisiting is worth to revisit, because you know it at least keeps you up to date with yourself, and everything else ended up being fine, and you don't need to cut anything off or anything of that sort, or if it's because you know you do need to actually cut a couple of people off in your life because they are even subconsciously sabotaging your success, especially when you tell them about, like, you know, what you're doing, and they throw down words like, you know, can you do something that's more realistic? Like, they throw on metaphorical witchcraft onto you. Metaphorical witchcraft, speaking doubt into your mind, speaking confusion into your mind, speaking things that they're projecting that they think they know about you, but they don't know at all about you. And in fact, I'm going to still stand by the statement that nobody in the world except awareness and yourself knows you best. Your awareness and God awareness themselves, that's who knows you the most. Other people can be mirrors of whatever it is that you're not, or that you are, right? But the one who holds the mirror that you see through, that embodies awareness, like reflecting in God while reflecting in yourself, like, I'm not saying these people in your life or these bonds have to have like very spiritual significance or meaning, because you can make anything mean anything. But when it gets to the point where these people are literally sabotaging the energy that you're setting your energy up to be, that, like I talked about in the pilot, with how we're in the pilot before we're starting the actual first season out of like the how many seasons during Pluto in Aquarius, okay? Maybe that's why the Gemini, the Lovers card came out. Maybe that's why the potential energy that is reflected through the entire tarot panorama spread came out, is because your decisions affect, you know, your life. And your decisions are connected to your state of being. Remember that. Because as long as you remember that, it'll be easy to go through this process, whether you like it or not. And whether it benefits you because they at least are re-updating yourself, reviewing, or whether it's beneficial for you because you finally let go of something that's like a significant weight on you being this absolute version of yourself that you want to be, but that you didn't know why that couldn't come out, but now you know why, because you're surrounded by yourself. You're surrounding yourself with people who don't want you to be the best version of yourself. They want you to be the best version that they think that you can be, or that they assume that you are, and that you are, and even as far as assuming that it is written in your life to be. I'm telling you. However this turns out for you, I hope that this reading helps you and benefits you only. And I affirm that whether you're taking this reading in all parts or some parts, that may it only bring you towards and continue to stay on the path of being in the best dimension of all dimensions in your life. Okay? Now let's get to the last part of the reading. Actually, no, let's not get to the last part because we still got to finish this off. Let's finish this off, and afterwards we'll get to this quickly, and then Maybe this is going to be like extra confirmations or something. "2020. Things are looking up. You've been focused on building a strong foundation, and it shows. You will be reaping all the wonderful rewards you absolutely deserve. Your connections and partnerships are leveling up, especially when you choose to reflect and realize that, yes, these bonds are good for me. Whatever they are, whoever that they are that you're bonded to, whoever it is that you're bonded to, whatever it is that you're bonded to. Resulting in better productivity and deeper emotional connections. These bonds may also be felt on a spiritual level. Celebrate your achievements. Forging stronger bonds. Productivity and inspiration. Feeling in tune with a higher power. Positive connections. I always make exciting and meaningful connections, not exciting connections that instill anxiety in me and make me doubt myself, or that try to, or actually not even instill anxiety in me, that tries to instill anxiety within me, you know, like, or within you, right? No, they're exciting but meaningful. They bring peace into my life. That's why I feel like that weekly reading has a lot in connection to this reading, which, again, I recommend you watch it if you feel called to it. So let's get to confidence, 272. Okay. So it is... Are you living a purpose-driven life? Your angels are urging you to take control of your narrative. Embrace your goals. Dream big. You should never diminish your life for anyone or anything. Side note, dreams, again, I brought up dreams. Dreams are absolutely essential to a purposeful life. But so are the actions that you take to achieve them. Yes, challenges will likely crop up. Yes, fear and doubt are very human. But so are optimism and hope. And also faith. It's not included in this, but I'm going to include that. Which will you choose? Taking actionable steps towards your dreams, again, being in the dimension that you're in and choose to consistently be in, even if it means cutting people off, even if it means just simply reviewing the people or bonds that you have in your life. Embracing confidence and hope, aligning with your true path in life, and tackling challenge with conviction. Everything is always working out in my favor. Now, I'm going to get the last spread, or the last book, or the last part of the reading, which is confidence here. So, let's get to it. Now, confidence. Confidence is not a fixed attribute. It's something that we're continuously working to build throughout our lives. The journey of being in our confident energy is never going to end, to be consistent with it. In this reading, this card signifies that it's the right time to start working with and enhancing your sense of self-confidence. How can you build more confidence in your life in a meaningful way? And one of those meaningful ways is having this person or this bond or this thing I'm connected to going to amplify the best dimension of all dimensions that I dare to assume is a part of my life, or Or do they just downgrade it and really take away the essence of the state that you choose to be in? Like, if they're purposely trying to convince you to get out of your state, that's why I have mentioned to keep your prayers strong and your affirmations strong and your assumptions strong, because there are people who strongly have the audacity to project assumptions that they want you to take in, but that is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. That's why growth is there, and that's why the whole Neptunian water analogy is there. That's why I felt called to take this cup, this chalice, because it helps with reminding yourself that this journey of growth is not for nothing. It is not for nothing anymore. Like, there's so much has happened, especially since the beginning of this year, that you're not giving into any nonsense that doesn't aid your growth anymore. And it's so interesting because mystery is underneath, but magic is also underneath too. And it's interesting as well because ghost is underneath with determination. Maybe whoever is hearing this message, maybe you are visited by an ancestor of yours or somebody that you knew from this life that has passed away or something. I don't know. But that's confirming this energy for you, whoever it is that needs that extra confirmation that this energy does lead you to somewhere, and that you should absolutely trust that. Because what if you're not going to trust that, and you complete all the cyclical solar years of your life just to transition back into a different dimension that you probably started from before you were born, just to realize, oh no, wait, like I wish I made the decisions I wish I made. Don't make decisions where you are reflecting back many years from now and ask yourself, don't make decisions where you're going to end up asking yourself, like, why did I not do that? Like, why did I not do that? Because it's even as simple as cutting somebody off that is going to relieve so much in so many ways that that only benefits you, and it doesn't you over. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, I have to say it. Whoever is helping you grow in your life, keep them in your life. Continue to nurture that relationship, or those relationships, or even the relationship with the thing that helps you grow. For me, like, I love doing these readings because they absolutely help me grow. I love divination because that helps me self-reflect my subconscious mind, and even gives me the opportunity to help other people's subconscious minds. And so that's a very simple example of that. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to end the reading right here because I think I have gotten everything out that I personally believe that must be mentioned. Thank you so much for watching this whole entire thing, and not, you know, not because out of the kindness of your own heart. I know it's not just because of that. It's especially because if you especially need to hear this, that you chose to go through listening to all this, even if it's 2 times the speed. Okay, you chose that. You didn't choose to be like, oh yeah, it's too long, I'm not patient to, you know, get the message I want. Well, I mean, look, I don't disagree with these people, especially if they are neurodivergent and they need other people who take in downloads that accommodate to their mindsets, right? But I'm talking about those that don't care, like that actually don't care. Like, but also, it's just a reminder, please do not change your state of being for anybody else right now. And don't change, and I'm not saying you should not be sad. I'm not saying you should not feel emotions. I'm not saying you should not be, you know, anxious or whatsoever, or upset or scared or angry, whatever the hell. Like, that side of the spectrum of emotions. It's not that you shouldn't feel all of your emotions, but just like you should get in touch with your emotions, you should also get in touch with dealing with your emotions. And sometimes those emotions come up because there is something going on within you, or, which is why we're going back, you know, that's why I'm glad I did the angel number reading and the Prism oracle reading. It could be somebody else or something else that's training you, that's draining you ridiculously more than you should ever be drained. Okay? Please take care of yourselves. Please, you know, see things clearly, because this is 2020 all along. There's like maybe even a certain conclusion you've reached about that whole year that from now is going to make a lot more sense, especially when the new moon is coming up soon, which we're going to do a reading for that soon anyways. But anyways, thank you for listening. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, like this video, so then it gets to other people, especially when they need to hear it the most, like this, for the sake of this video to show up on the algorithm. Okay, like it, subscribe to my channel again, and feel free to engage in the comments as well about this energy collectively. Like, what is your experience? Like, you go ahead and tell me. I'm looking forward to this. But anyways, have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful full moon in Aquarius, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.